So call to order DPW Facilities Committee meeting Monday, September 22nd. Roll call.
Present. Rashad here.
Marini here.
Thought you here.
Chandler here.
Yeah, then we get approval of meeting minutes from September 8th and then September 12th.
My fault, I'm writing the 25th.
Yeah.
I meant to write the 18th, which was the FinCom, and I messed over in the 18th at the next meeting.
Okay.
Jack did bring up one point on the minutes for the 8th. The DPW superintendent update says geotech from Weston and Sampson. It should say awaiting survey to move forward, not move forward with removing material. So I'll give that change. So
Okay, well, then other than that, I move to accept the minutes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I just initial these in? Sign it? Can I just initial with the change or should we wait till? Yeah. Okay. Next on the agenda is public session. Anybody from the public that wants to speak? Okay, we'll get right into discussion on our DPW tour, facility tours on the 12th. So I thought those were great, the tours we went to. Kind of three completely different operations, so good to see different designs, different layouts. What I took away was of the two newer ones, Holden and Hudson. Holden was definitely felt like it was built for the kind of long haul, where Hudson was, I don't know, it felt to me poorly built a little bit and really small, condensed, way too small probably for what they still need. But
I couldn't believe the amount of people that worked out of that building.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. You know, when he said, was it 60 people or something like that worked out of that building? And I don't know how they're planning on operating when they're fully open, but I thought it was odd layout, mostly in the vehicle storage area and the mechanic shops particularly. I thought those felt very.
Yep. Agree.
I thought on a little bit different level that they put in Hudson, they put very strong emphasis on the design in the offices and the administration area. And I'm just saying, I don't think that we should do that. I think we should do more kind of like what we did in Holden. This is just my gut that I don't think that would fly very well with, well, I don't think we need it. I'm sorry. I don't think we have to invest that kind of resource, financial or design resource into that kind of stuff. I also question carpet in the.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
You know, I think that people have asked like, oh, how was the tours? And I've been telling everyone, I got the most out of Hudson, right? So
Yeah.
like, there was some stuff I really liked. I loved those floors in the behind
The epoxy.
area.
Yeah.
I know Holden has had issues with their floors. That floor is for the long haul. It's there. It's curved up everywhere. It's consistent. And I've worked with these guys, you know what I mean? I've worked in this industry. We're not clean people. It's just our nature. It's not because we're trying to be messy. It's just the nature of the work. And then I also learned a lot about what not to do. You know, like you had pointed out, all the columns in the vehicle storage because of the forced hot air heat, that blew my mind. When you have a layout like that in the vehicle storage where every door pretty much needs to be open to remove a vehicle, and you have forced hot air heat, it's going to be 35 degrees in there as soon as you pull everything out. Then you have to recover all that heat. So that made no sense to me. And I was blown away when they said they moved in a week ago. And I saw how much stuff they had in there. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be.
Well, you almost wonder if that
I wanna
was
go
them
back.
still unpacking or they realize they don't have room
But it
to
looks like,
unpack
I'm
it.
like, uh-oh. There's a lot, like in this mechanics area, there is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Not a lot of stuff.
I felt that the flooring in the older facility that you showed us was basically this flooring, and it was in great shape. And it was literally the same flooring that they were having problems with in Holden. So I was wondering about the life cycle costing Uh, this flooring, well maintained, obviously, versus the epoxy.
Do you guys
And-
have a sense of that, Tony? Like cost difference?
I-
I know we're getting in the weeds here, but it's.
Well, it-
Research that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say in both cases, a lot of it depends on.
Of course.
Install well, it will last long. But epoxy can have problems too.
Right. So we're right back. Because my tendency was to go to the epoxy. Anyway, I thought it's softer on the feet than the vinyl. And it's more durable.
Anything else with layouts or anything? What about you, Paul?
Dave's place, when you walk in that, it was just like, whoa, this was like an airport.
Yeah.
That was definitely, like we talked to Mark and we chatted a little bit. And like I said, we're looking for room to store stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit, it just didn't feel Holden, obviously, that's a different quality, sure. But like I said, Dave's place, that when you open up and go in there, it's just like, wow, there's tons of room for tons of stuff.
I've been skeptical on the center drive aisle, two doors thing. I kind of felt like there was ways to make it maybe a little bit smaller if you reorganize it, but I think that's probably the way to go. I mean, we've seen enough of them. Now we saw one that wasn't set up like that. It's just very choppy. You're moving. You really have to be tactful about how you park things, which isn't always an option.
Yeah.
At the end of a storm, what comes back should get parked instead of having to do some song and dance to make everything fit, which is what we do now and what you'd have to do in like Hudson's case. I thought the wash bay was kind of unique, with the curtain. I looked at a lot of Hudson as like slash, what can we do to, get it in?
Yep.
Just so they could have nicer offices.
I guess, yeah.
That's
I guess
why
so.
it felt like that was the priority. To me.
That was odd.
Yeah.
Different department, they operate very different than we do.
Correct.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, thought it was beneficial. Thank you, Brian, for spearheading Hudson, Dave for Westford, for lunch. Appreciate that. Those guys for holding. It was good. Steve, do you have anything? You were with us too?
Leave it on.
The epoxy was interesting in Hudson that it was everywhere. From a construction standpoint, it's a little tricky to do that because you tend to want to go in once and you can't disturb anything. But that's, it was stopping from doing it. It was surprising how well in Westford the vinyl 12-inch vinyl held up compared to what we saw in Holden, which was unusual, even though it was very similar. Because in Holden, you could see right away, that's I think was the first thing I said when we walked into Holden, how dirty it got. And I didn't even realize that they had replaced the stretch there. But just that it was so dirty. I was intrigued by the outdoor parking, canopy parking, as a money saving thing. I'm just trying to understand that. Trying to figure out what we can bring to this facility or not, which is obviously the purpose of the trip. You run the facility, so and you guys know better than me. I wasn't as disturbed by having the mechanic stuff around the corner, but as I said, you guys know how to run these places, not me. It seems that if you have to do work in a vehicle, that wouldn't be that big a deal to be around the corner because that's where the setup is. But that's specifically what you spoke to. So,
It was more the size and the layout of those mechanic space than it was the location. Location doesn't bother me.
Oh, okay.
Like where it is, I think that's fine. It was just the way it was.
I mean, Holden's is like that almost. I think it must be they didn't have like Tony said, they didn't have the room to continue out. So they had to
Right.
put an out.
Another way.
Yeah.
We will have the room here to continue. Just have it as a straight shot. Kind of.
I did my first reaction in looking at these plans here tonight, even though we've seen them lots of times. It's been a few days since the tours. And my first reaction in looking at the plans for our project here is that it's wonderfully simple. The plans for this project, compared to what we walked through, as you call it, we don't have a maze here. Like your facility is you're so enamored with there and enjoyed telling us all about, which is great. Certainly Hudson was not like that, and to an extent Holden wasn't either, so trying to figure out how to make this project as cost effective as we can make it, the simplicity of this, while the program is all in, is kind of what jumped out at me, whereas, the effort and the thought is to try to figure out how to simplify. It's simple is the wrong word, efficient, I think is a better word, is what this plan is. So, that's what it means for us to figure out what to do with all these things.
Tony, anything, Mir?
I guess I would just echo a lot of what's been said. One thing is that I do feel a little bit bad for vinyl tile. I think that's not a typical installation. I understand what all of you folks are saying. Somebody mentioned it, Jonathan, you might have mentioned it's getting better as time goes on. We are looking to always use, the best products. That said, I'm not gonna, you guys have an impression with vinyl tile, and the epoxy is nice too. It just has a little bit of a cost implication. And like you asked, Ryan, we'll try to look at the differential on that. And there is a long-term, life cycle.
I was just gonna say that, like, it does fail. Holden's floor in the fire station has failed, and it's bad. You know what I mean? Like that.
Fire safety,
Fixing it is a
Fixing
lot
it-
easier. I mean, a lot more
A lot
difficult.
more difficult, right? So like any of the control joints and things like that, like it's heaved and it's a nightmare. So, and when it chips and flakes, water gets underneath it, then it floods it down, there's issues. So just something to keep in mind. It's not the
Right.
end all be all, but nothing is, right? Everything has maintenance and life cycle costs. I'm so scared.
Not to belabor it too much, but there are other issues of cleaning. So like an epoxy, if you don't put grit in it,
Yeah.
it tends to get slippery when it's wet. But if you put grit in it, I've heard janitors complain because
Tougher
the
to
mops
clean.
get stuck and it's hard to keep clean. So there are pluses and minuses.
Yep.
I think we'll go through that one,
Yeah.
like material selections, we'll do pluses and minuses each.
Right.
Anything else on the tours?
I just want to throw this out that, the designs that are here in front of us now, they represent a more fluid operation. Ryan prides himself on communication with his team. And you didn't get that feel in Holden and even my building. The separation between management and the team, it becomes a problem if you're not, in contact with your employees on a regular basis.
It's good to know.
wow,
And Hudson, they don't even let him in the office.
right. That's carpeted.
I couldn't believe that statement.
Yeah, only for a minute.
I know, right?
That's the carpeting.
Yeah,
You can't
gee,
go in.
Intercom, right? Radios, take your shoes off. I don't know.
Okay, moving on to the next topic, finance committee meeting discussion. So we met last week, finance committee. I think it went well, good presentation, but what Mark wants to give an update.
Well, we are going to, assuming we can have a quorum, have another meeting this Thursday. And that's going to be to approve a article for the Meeting House News. And I've seen a draft of it. The Meeting House News would come out mid-October. Deadline is Friday to get it in. And we're talking about just the money. We're talking about the tax impact, which is basically what in your presentation. So there's nothing new. We aren't making a stand at this point, approve or disapprove. But as soon as it's voted on, if approved, you'll have a copy of it.
So, is there any benefit? I don't need to comment on it. I'm just saying, is there any benefit in like us taking a look at it and making sure that what whoever the author is interpretation is what we feel like is? I'm not trying to write the article, but like just to make sure that we have a consistent message and we're not getting anything lost before it goes out to 8,000 people. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know, is it a secret? Is it like a?
It's not a secret. It hasn't been approved.
Right.
So what you're saying is if we vote on it and approve it,
Well, it's going in Friday.
it'll
you
go
said,
in
right?
Friday.
I'm just wondering if it's worth having a, like I said, I don't want to be a co-author here. I'm just saying like, wait a minute.
You think we should be there on Thursday?
You
That's,
certainly are welcome to be there on Thursday. I don't know if we have the quorum yet.
oh,
I think.
so
we- I
then there
think
might
we
not
do.
be a meeting. I'm sorry. to
No.
interrupt.
I always welcome you guys,
All right, all right.
you know, but it's.
If it would help, I'll tell you what stresses me out a little bit is getting Ryan on all these evening things, because he has an early morning thing. So I don't mind.
I want to
you
make
know,
it clear that like, I'm all fully on board with the article. I just want to
Same here.
make sure that nothing is getting lost in translation from us to you folks. You know what I mean? That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, Joe's the author,
Right.
and I will.
I can email Joe. I don't mind.
Yeah, why don't you?
Okay.
I don't think it'll hurt. I don't think you'll see anything in, I mean, what it is, it's the cost, which is not happy, good news.
But,
We all know that.
Which
but does it
cost?
say,
Huh?
Which cost? The 2
For
million?
33, what was presented?
No, the 2 million. Is that's all we're to going for is the 2
2 million.
Understood. The article addresses 33 million.
It should,
Well, the end result is gonna,
or less. The reason we're doing this, see, this is I think it's important. The reason we want to go to bid with documents is so that we have a real number. The 33 million is this,
understood.
and it's a very informed this, but it really is a this. I'm right. I mean, call me out if I'm saying something wrong, please, especially, Steve, come on. Come at me. Yeah, all right. And saying that is wrong. Saying to the population of the town, the reason we're only doing this way is so that we know what the number really will be.
That is part of the audit.
And that nobody in this town, none of the designers, nobody wants to spend any more than we have. And the 33 is kind of still, it's an educated guess, right?
Yeah.
And you think it's accurate, you wouldn't be suggesting it. But how many things are coming in under your estimates right now? And without saying that, even mentioning the 33 is kind of, waving a red flag.
I think it's fair though to mention it. It's not a secret,
What?
but I just want to make sure that it doesn't come across as, first of all, it's 2.2 is part of the 33, right? It's not in addition
Right.
to, and that the 33 is the end all be all, or the 33 is what we're gonna come back with or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
I just wanna make sure that it's not like a doom and gloom, like,
It's
that's all.
it's factual.
Okay,
The article talks about the 2.2. It talks about,
being a part of that 33.
yeah, it talks about the town meeting vote.
Yeah.
It talks about the next day,
Good.
which is for some of us, that's gonna be that is a problem.
Okay,
Yeah, right at, we're just pushing so hard, I feel.
yeah,
I understand why,
it was then or a week later, I mean,
well,
yeah,
so anyway, the article, I checked with Joe, I'm sure, because I asked him, I said, can I give this to Ryan
yeah,
now?
yeah,
He said, well, let's wait.
The following week's a holiday too, so it couldn't be that. It would have to be 2 weeks. Is it
Right.
Veterans Day?
yeah.
On the
Yeah.
Tuesday after?
That's a good
So,
point.
I mean, but that's,
Yeah.
It's we feel that it's our role. I have a different role than everybody else,
right,
okay? You guys know how I feel about the need for something.
I do, absolutely.
Okay. So that being said, I'm part of a committee, and our job is to present to the taxpayers what this means.
Yeah.
Okay? And if we don't do it, then we're gonna get pointed at as not having done it. It's the article, I think when you see the article, you're gonna say, okay, yeah, this is just the facts discussed in the presentation.
That's fun.
In the
Yeah.
present, there is no thumb up or thumb down on what we're gonna do on the 16th.
Is that your next meeting
Yeah.
after that? Okay. And
October 16th, we'll be voting on the warrant. Because the warrant will be out. And don't ask me where we are on it.
And that starts at 5?
What's that?
Meeting starts? at
Yes, it
5?
does.
So this doesn't involve the finance committee, but should we put something in the meeting house?
Well, it's a little late for that now, but I was not late, I guess. I mean.
We get a couple days,
Sure.
but it would be,
I can do something.
We also want to put it in social media.
What social media?
Good point.
Just curious, I know like the town doesn't use it a lot. so
Yeah.
I'd like to get in that too. I don't.
Gotcha.
Wasn't aware we had it.
And this just came up today.
Yeah.
Printed media, printed drop-offs at the library senior center.
Okay.
Okay,
I want to make sure that, you know, that I don't want to say work together. I do want to say work together as a team because I know we might have differing opinions on some of this stuff, but the messaging and what we've been trying to articulate, we want to make sure is the same thing that you guys are trying to articulate. If it's just facts, I think we want to make sure that we're all on the same page because in the past, things have gotten twisted around, not for this building per se, just other things, you know, and that can kill this whole project if one sentence is different than you know what I'm saying, what it means. So I want to make sure that our messaging is consistent and I want to make it clear that we're not running from a message. We know the message needs to get out there, but I want to make sure it's clear, consistent and accurate, I think was my concern. So
this is why I brought it up.
yeah, I appreciate that, Mark. I really do. You see what I'm saying, John?
yeah,
Does that make
no, I
sense?
completely agree.
I don't want to slow
I
anything
mean-
down. I don't want to, I'm not trying to censor anything. I want to get it out there. But I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
I mean, it would be good to see if we can get it from Joe before Thursday.
Yeah, I'll work on our own article. Like we did that before. You know, it's good timing. I have that contact. And,
Steve,
I have a question on the finance article. Is the need described? You guys heard the comments I made during your meeting about the program, the planning for the future, and the program is what created this building size, which creates what the cost is.
There really isn't enough room to go into all that.
we'll take care of that in ours.
Yeah, this is simply, okay,
Even the age of the buildings,
Right.
you know, anything that describes. what
that,
the
well,
condition is here.
that's come out once. Ryan's did an article.
I mean, in this article.
In this article.
They talk about the cost, but it's the cost of what? It's to replace this. And I think it's fair to ask in that cost article to describe this, at least 2 sentences. That is replacing this in the age of this building, because, you know, I don't know what you got. Well, I've been in the building industry a long time. So when I hear about a building being built or and Brian and I were talking earlier, fuel tanks put in 2000, my first reaction is, oh, good, we're in great shape. Well, wait a minute, that was 25 years. It's like, oh, that project was done in 1989. Oh, well, shit, I was involved in that, but that's still a really old project. So, yeah, Brian was screaming, so. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, I'll bring that up.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
To mention with the costs, something about what condition.
Yeah, I'm not even sure we can fit in because there's graphs. You know, it talks about the different levels of taxpayer, that what houses are worth,
All the things.
all the things that we're involved. Okay, the financial side. You guys, you know what you're doing as far as designing these. We're not trying to tell you anything other than, is this thing gonna fly on the 3rd? And we feel it's our responsibility to let people know about the cost. And I don't know how many people even want to read it. When they see finance committee on there, they'll go, okay, next page. Right?
That's a good,
I
I read it all.
huh?
rather than the 33 million, is it better to use a range? And
Yeah.
I don't want to deceive people, and people are gonna, well, look, people
I
look
think we
at it and
did kind
go,
of,
well, it's always gonna be the highest range, but.
Right.
But that's not the
But-
highest range. That's what was presented.
Yeah, what was presented to all.
You know, I mean, it might be higher than
Again, I
33
know
million.
you can't
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. This is just, in it, I think there's several indications that this is an estimate. We do not know. We don't.
yeah, I mean, maybe we should put something out that shows
We'll get
the,
something by Friday.
um,
I'll get it out.
and shows the cost of the replacement of just this building too, like that's in there. I think that would be good to see.
Absolutely.
Mark, I don't want to put you on the spot. I just asked your opinion on what you thought about the date for the election. How long out are you thinking? For
Well,
the-
nothing.
Usually it goes hand in hand with
I know.
the town meeting vote.
Like we were saying, there's a lot more people that go to the ballot. They may not this time because it's.
Yeah,
not a
this is the
statewide
only
election.
thing on it. There's no races.
Some of us feel that we're just rushing this,
Okay,
okay? And that's what it is. I mean,
Yep.
it's, in our meeting, we decided not to
pursue the.
not to pursue the options,
Yeah,
and just let whatever's gonna happen, happen. Whether or not the finance committee approves this or not, I can't tell you this yet. If they don't approve it, we don't approve it, then it'll stand on its own and you guys will do a great job presenting, I'm sure. We have to convince the town. We're gonna look at it from a, does this make sense from a dollar and cents? Do we spend the 2.2 million? And then have the whole thing get shot down later on? What happens to the 2.2 million? I personally, I guess I could say this, I kind of like this. I'd like to see some bids. I'd like to see the final design. We haven't really crunched the number on the 2.2 million yet. What that's gonna be initially, how we're gonna do that, but that's where it is. I don't know what my fellow members are gonna
So
say.
does the article address what the 2.2 would be for a tax?
Yeah.
Increase?
Yes.
Oh,
Not-
No,
okay.
no, I don't think so. I've got it on my, I'll read it to you. I don't think you want.
No, I think that is important.
it is, because that's the ask.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're only asking for the 2.2 and, I think that would be important.
Can I put my wet blanket away?
It's an important part, you know that.
Yeah,
We're having the conversations.
Yeah,
You know?
Appreciate it. You guys are welcome to come to this meeting. And I think if you reach out to Joe,
I'll shoot him a message.
anything else from that meeting you want to talk about?
No, there was a touch on, I wanted to thank Ryan for bringing up something. I had seen another facility on my own, and I believe it was in Medway, and they had a separation of the, administrative and the operation. And that was, according to people on site, nobody wanted to really badmouth anyone, but they hated it. You can tell they hated it.
Where is this?
That was Medway, is that where it was? It was south?
Oh, when you
didn't-
went?
When I
Oh,
went
okay.
by myself.
Oh, okay.
And when you brought that up, I thought it was important to bring it up again in this meeting because that's not a cost savings. That was not a cost savings at all. They had everything that they needed except for the inexpensive part of the administration, which is the administration offices.
Yeah,
All the bathrooms, the locker
yeah,
rooms,
that
everything.
is a good point. So when you take if you said you were gonna have all the admin at a remote site, you would still need the locker rooms, the bathrooms, all that still here. So you'd only be getting the offices out. And wherever those offices end up going, they potentially would need increased bathrooms and facilities as well.
outfitting.
Yeah, so it's not just a cut.
So,
And I only
Like,
brought that up because it had been brought up to me in the
Yeah.
past, and
Right.
I wanted to see what phasing or option B would be. Now, not to derail the subject, but phasing came up,
right,
you know, and I would love for someone, my thought on phasing is we spend so much time and effort trying to get phase one. And then the tax bill hits and whatever, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we're back. Remember you said we could come back in 5-10 years, and they're gonna be like, we just did that. You
Right.
know, that's done. And we end up with phase one, and that might be it, you know, unless there was some sort of carrot dangling, which was like part of this building that was now, you know, completely collapsing or something like that, and still existed that can be done, but, you know, that would force that to happen. But I'm very leery with phasing, and now you're capping off a building, opening it back up.
Right.
Yeah.
Building, capping it off, opening it back up, you know, which
it's
different
outrageous.
contractors, different
Yeah.
construct, I mean, you guys see phasing a lot, like, yeah.
We don't see any benefit to phasing.
No.
It only extends the contract with general conditions and soft costs of the other folks involved, right, general conditions. And I don't see any short-term objective being met by a first phase of things that you wouldn't say, why are we operating this? So I don't see any benefit.
Yeah, the other thing to note though, if someone was proposing the phase option, you're gonna end up starting to spend capital funds on this building
Right.
while you stay here.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of needs here that would then.
Right.
The whole sticker price would go up a lot.
Well, I think that brings up the final point, so we can move on. I am genuinely afraid of what this building could cost the town in the next few years. I've walked around this building probably more than anyone except these guys, and it's frightening. And I don't think I'm doing a scare tactic. I think I'm being honest. I'm very afraid of structural issues. I don't even want to talk about the other things because I don't want to jinx it, but there are serious concerns on the site and with this building. And I think that needs to be in a letter, and I don't know how to do it because I don't want to come across like I'm scaring people, but personally I'm scared. So when I speak to people one-on-one, I do tell them that because it's genuine. And if anybody walking around, if you guys walked around, you'd be scared too. I mean, any building person walking around seeing what I saw, I know we would all have the same kind of gut reaction. Short-term costs will, in my opinion, dwarf the 2.2 million. That's what we're playing with if we don't do this and don't do this quickly. And that's why I have a sense of urgency about it, because I am really afraid that we are going to be forced to do something here and we'll literally be throwing our money away. And I wanted to bring that up. So that was my last.
Oh,
Just to maybe add one more point, I think, if I took nothing else away from the FinCom meeting last week, it's the fact that we're all in agreement something needs to be done.
Mhm.
So there's no, I won't speak for everybody else or even Mark because he's here, but for my own, I mean, I know for a fact we need to do something.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And again, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but my concern is that we have some reading the paperwork that I was given, we have some experts here. For us to have a $6 million contingency, like you said, right?
Uh-huh.
So now you're going like this.
Right.
Okay. $6 million is a lot, right? So if you drop that contingency by 10%, right? And now you have a $3 million contingency, the project is now under $30 million, right? Can that be done?
What,
I
what
don't
was the $6 million contingency?
He's talking about something.
Oh, soft cost. That's real cost. There's a 10% contingency on soft costs in the number, but that's, I don't know if you want to.
Sure. So usually what we do at this stage in the game and as early as we are right now, with that 20% buffer that we have on there, counts for fees such as designer fees, which is actually part of the 2.2. That's
Correct.
pretty much what we're paying for right
Yep.
now is designers bill, project management fees. And then we also have FF&E, all the furniture that's going to need to go in a facility like this, any equipment that needs to go in. And then yes, there is contingencies on a project such as this. When we get to the end phase and say that we're tracking exactly as we sit right here, we would recommend something along the lines of a 5% construction contingency for a ground up facility. So very round numbers. If our construction contract is $25 million, we would anticipate seeing something along the lines of $1.2 million for the construction contingency for any unforeseen conditions. I do understand what you're saying. When you look at that,
It's a little clearer now.
so what we like to try to do though throughout the design as well is try to create that pie chart so that the end user and the taxpayer is not looking at our construction is only 70 or 80% of this, and the rest is just this fluff that we're trying to just cover CYA for the rest of this. There's actually a lot that goes into that piece of the pie, and we could sliver it out to show you what our buffer is to make sure that.
And then finally, I think it would also be beneficial to let everybody know this is a prevailing wage job. I mean, it adds, if my math is right, $5 to $6 million, right? Is that close? I mean, it's
Probably,
not.
yeah. No, it's not just the prevailing wage. It's also just the whole procurement methods that you have to go through and yeah.
Mandates are.
Correct. Yep.
So it all matters. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're building a car for $33 million.
No.
Costs that are, that a lot of people don't know about. I can't hurt you in case to make sure that they know that, X amount of money is mandated by the state, which would be the prevailing wage, blah, blah, blah. So if you pull that $6, $7, $8 million out and show it, I don't think that can hurt your case. So
As we get closer to bidding, I would send an email out to the Division of Labor Standards of the state. They send me a prevailing wage rate sheet, probably about 30 pages deep, that we're dictating to what every screw that gets turned in a bill can do that by that specific.
And I understand that what you've got is probably half the town doesn't.
Yeah.
I think half is generous.
Yeah, you're being generous.
Great if half.
Quite honestly, I discounted it most of my life. I discounted what prevailing wage costs. And it's really shocking.
$800,000 from thinking the senior center.
Right?
So
You go like, what?
$1 million building. It's complete too.
One thing that, the deferred maintenance on this building, maybe we should do something on that. I know we talked about some stuff
Yeah,
earlier,
I'll
but
be looking for some information on that review.
Yep.
I read when it started.
yeah, okay. We can talk about that on Wednesday.
I wrote that down as a note.
So we're going back to kind of do the same presentation on Wednesday, it is, right? Select
Yeah.
board meeting,
Yeah.
so
They have 6 o'clock, 6:30.
6:30.
30. Good news is 3 of the 4 members who are going to be in attendance were there.
Yep.
On last night. So, but I think it's a good chance to get back on TV, back in front of the public, do our same spiel. We weren't going to change anything, I don't believe, or was it much we were going to change?
Sent to them already.
I haven't, but did you get it sent to you? Because I talked to Maureen for a while today and she had it, so I don't know. Bill will text me in 2 seconds and tell me if he sent it to them. But was there something you wanted to change?
Maybe there's some
Clarifying
things that we can clarify. My takeaways just from the presentation, it was great to hear some feedback from financial people of the town, just the comment about bringing options to the town. I feel as though we're almost there, or we need to maybe explain why we look at many, many different options that ultimately results in the option that we're bringing forward. Maybe there's a better way to.
Let me put it this way. So yes, he's already said it to the board, but I don't think it'd be an issue if you wanted to make some changes for this meeting and send it. If I can get it back to them tomorrow, I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that'd be an issue here, especially considering 3/4 of the people sitting in the room have already seen the one version. I don't think that having some updates would be a problem here.
Yep.
I just didn't want to end up sending, you made some changes after we sent it to you guys. You guys wanted it earlier. I didn't want to end up doing a different presentation than we sent you guys and whatnot. So we didn't make any changes.
One thing, maybe we should spell out the 20% a little clearer on what that is. Yeah,
I think it's,
I'm thinking if we took this, the presentation of what it would take to rebuild this facility out, because we don't, well, we understand what the messages we're trying to get, just seemed like there was more distraction from presenting that number than there was the point we're trying to make.
Yeah.
So, well, I think it's a good
It's
idea.
like, ooh, that's more appealing.
Yeah, that's right. It's like,
But it
well,
doesn't
that's what we
achieve
could do
anything.
then, which is not where we wanted that to go. We wanted to go was just to get what we got. It's gonna cost this.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing a little bit more, so we have some plan in the future. So you don't say, you built this facility, you didn't plan for the future at all. And it's here, and they said, well, we kind of like there. So that was the thought, was maybe take that out, but it's a suggestion to you guys, committee. What do you guys think? Do that?
yeah,
I
I
mean-
think that doing this building over in a coordinated way would cost what you said. But I'm concerned that we'll be forced to do it by circumstances if we don't move forward in an uncoordinated way. In something really major goes wrong in the salt shed collapsing and people getting hurt, and all this stuff. This is what I'm worried about. And I think those numbers would be a lot higher.
Mark, what were you gonna say? You were trying to say something.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want
That's okay. I forget what it was. I
Oh,
forget
sorry.
what the topic was, yeah. I
I just didn't know how that number played with you, the whole thing with those, how you felt it played with the committee.
now I
The
remember.
18.
I had a question, Steve. Let's say it passes on the 3rd and we go ahead. You're talking about options. What kind of discussions do you think we'll have between this time now and 2026? So we'll have a year. Are we going to be talking about phasing? I know you hate the subject and I know you said you wouldn't do it. But if it came to that, would that be, or are we just going to put our heads down and go for one of these?
Yeah, what Steve is suggesting I do is talk a little bit about the process, what happens from November 3rd
Yeah.
through bidding is, we would take the schematic design and that feeds into design development. And we're evaluating all sorts of different options along the way. We are meeting still, at least bi-weekly, if not weekly, with the working group. And as we advance, we're getting feedback from the town and working very interactively, cooperatively with the town all along the way, making adjustments toward the end goal of delivering a cost-effective building. So getting the price down as low as it can be and achieving the goals, meeting the program. One of the things that happens at the end of DD, we get a cost estimate. And we reconcile that with the cost estimate that Vertex would get. And then we would meet with the town again and talk about, this is what the cost came in. That would give us an opportunity to first do what I'll call cost reduction identification. Where are some places that we can make some adjustments? Could we structure bid items so that there are alternates? Maybe at one point, somebody talked about taking the building upside down and everything that falls out of the building, maybe some of that can be bid as an alternate. And And then if need be, we could actually go sort of a step further to value engineering as well. If there's an opportunity to stop at the end of DD and evaluate where we're at in terms of cost and make adjustments to the program. And then we have another opportunity, the DD, the design development is taken and then translated into documents that a contractor can build from. The DD isn't quite there yet. That's what construction is. JP's saying that the DD is about 60% design. Then at the end of CDs, we would do one last estimate, and that would give us the opportunity to make some final adjustments before going out to bid. And I think what Steve was looking for me to show along the way is it's not coming out of schematic design at the end of November 3rd and, you know, just laser focused on that single design for the whole process. There's a lot of room for evaluating adjustments to meet the program while minimizing or decreasing costs. So I don't know if that answered your question, Steve. I don't know if that was the message you were trying to get.
Let's add something about phasing. The times that we find phasing to be effective and necessary are when we're typically dealing with an existing site. So if we were building on this site, we needed to keep their operations going. Right? Even if we were tearing down this building at the end, we might build a portion of the building so that they can move into it, tear this building down, and then build the rest of it. It wouldn't affect their operations. In this case, we have an entirely new site. They can continue operating until it's completely done. And that's a huge benefit.
Yeah, I
Rare
want,
that we do phasing. Sorry.
I want to elaborate on that though. When I think the term phasing here, JP, they're talking about, let's take a piece of the project and put it in front of the town now and we'll do the rest of it some other time. JP scenario, where we do phasing on a project, that's all one project still. It's all approved in one fell swoop under one mobilization by the contractor. So you're still going for that big nut. So we have to be a little careful about how we use the term phasing.
That answer the question?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it gets to Kevin's point is that I think that everybody on FinCom feels we need to improve. And I talked about it at the FinCom meeting about the safety issues and how impressed I was with the ability to drive that big truck on the lift and bring it up. And talking to Paul about, you know, how, I mean, when we walked into that place at Park and Holden, I mean, he was just awestruck. And I can see, you know, that's a safety issue that needs to be addressed. And I understand what you're saying about phasing it, but we also have to get it passed. So maybe the thing passes on the 3rd. And then, like you say, you have back and forth.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of that going on,
Yeah.
but then once it goes final CDs, it's kind of set in stone at that point, more or less, because you can only go with the bid with one option. You can't go with the bid with multiple.
We got alternates, but.
Yeah, you can do add alternates or deduct alternates.
Okay, thank you.
Had a question, again, just trying to get ready for this conversation to get ready for the next conversation in the select board. And the question of what happens if it doesn't pass, if that is asked. We wanted to just ask here how to answer that. And I have an answer for that, which is the need doesn't change. You know, how it gets repackaged and brought forward again, you know, it's hard to say, but need doesn't change and it will be more expensive. That we know. I don't know what else to say to that, but that's kind of a question. If there's more thoughts.
I think the deferred, I shouldn't call it deferred maintenance, but the maintenance on this facility should be brought up because at some point it's going to trigger that we're going to start having to do work here. And what that dollar value is, that
It's going to be hot.
yes.
I just it seems like there's a hunger. I felt like I heard a hunger on some of the FinCom committee members that they want to see a plan B. They want to sort of be part of a process of let's evaluate different options. And I Brian mentioned earlier tonight, I think I remember Brian mentioning, maybe talking about more, let's not forget about the work that's been done. We've evaluated options for this site very heavily, and we're looking at numerous options up at the other site, up at the sand pit site. And I wonder if there's not a way we can enhance our message, strengthen our message, that we are doing a lot of review of options, alternatives analysis, and it's been being done for 4, 5, 6 years. And I wonder if that wouldn't help a little bit with some of the concerns about, you know, Plan B.
Tony,
And that comes up.
I have a lot of bullet points for our meeting house news article now.
Yeah, good.
500 words.
Well, it's too bad the articles can't be.
It's only 500?
Yeah, that's what it was last.
This is what it's gonna cost. And this is why.
Right.
Right. You know, and if they could be good if they both went in at the same time, because I think all these discussions about this place. I'll tell you, like, people I talk to, they have no idea.
No.
And that's not atypical either, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So like, and I kind of left the meeting the other day, and I think Joe had brought up some stuff that made me think about this. The 15, 20 people in that room last Thursday, we get it, right? Like, we're part of government. The vast majority, right? Like 90+%, just, they don't even understand how town meeting works, what an debt exclusion is, an override, you know, what the DPW does. And while you try to get out there and explain to them, if they don't want to know, then they don't need to know. You're not going to force it down, you know, down their throat. But I will be interested to see here what we get for numbers. I've done my own research on local elections. When there's not a contested race for a seat, numbers are very.
For the ballot.
And that's statewide, like in the less than 10% of registered voters. We had a really great turnout in May. There was a lot of seats and different things on the ballot. In this case, I'll just be interested in that from a perspective of those who want it to pass and hope for her. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Is the MBTA, is that a vote too?
It is not.
It's not, so it's just the
We are
town
the
meeting.
only thing on the ballot,
We
to
don't-
my knowledge.
Okay,
BTA isn't a vote?
well, it's a,
Not
it's in
on
the
the
town,
ballot.
not a ballot.
It's on the ballot.
That's our meeting, but not on the ballot.
It's on town meeting, it's not on the ballot.
Correct. All right.
The bylaw change, not a monetary.
Okay, I think we've discussed this enough.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next, Celebrate Sterling event, which is this Saturday.
Yes, so Saturday from 10 to 3 at the Memorial Park is an event called Celebrate Sterling. I found out about this like early last week. It's essentially a way, I guess other towns do it as well. Do you know anything more about it than I do, or?
It kind of came up, somewhat as a surprise to me as well. But it's an event to get, businesses, vendors, town organizations
Offices, board,
involved in a day where the residents can come by and meet and greet and maybe, you know, participate in some games and activities and
Right.
maybe support some vendors.
So,
It's something the town used to do. It fell by the wayside. They're trying to revive it again.
okay. All right, so we're gonna bring a loader down. And my hope was we're gonna bring a tent, table, play, maybe I can get the TV again,
Oh, sure.
and we'll run the video.
Mhm.
And we'll have the flyers. Brian and I talked, and Steve briefly this afternoon, maybe about some poster boards that we can work on, some printouts and stuff. I'm only available until about 1 o'clock, and then I need to leave. But if anyone's available to help, that would be huge, be a great chance to get in front of presidents.
I am not available that day. I'm out of town.
Okay.
I'm some of my kids.
And I'm double scheduled here, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay,
I just have to check
you'll be tied
with
up.
the powers that be.
I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Switch your
anyway,
time,
right?
with us, would you?
Are you
Where's the
cooking?
select board set up? Are you at the
No.
Patrick Building?
Could maybe wear 3 different hats because I'm a sponsor as well.
Oh,
The
good.
food, I'm told, is at Memorial Park, so.
Then I'll be there.
Trucks.
Is the food sponsored by the DPW?
No, but you do make up some signs and say it.
Yeah.
By the DPW facility.
Facility committee, yeah.
So that's Saturday, 10 to 3. We will be closer to Cross Street, I requested, because I didn't want to drive the machine over the septic or anything like that, so.
Yeah.
That's my guess, like I said.
So just for the day, is the committee ready and willing to share these conceptuals as they sit right now? As this is kind of right off the presses, are we good to, this is what we're thinking, we can put conceptual on it? Do you need boards printed for it? Do you want us to go out and get those?
I don't think it would hurt.
No, I would just show one
One,
option
right.
and say that,
I would.
yeah. I
My
think it's good.
tendency would be to show so many that it's showing that we're really thinking we're not sure yet. We're processing all this information. Look there's 80 of them.
And
right?
Are we also informing town meeting vote the next day? Is that information?
If you guys have I am so leery to do any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just informational.
Well, wait a minute. If
You know,
you're
is there a way to
writing
do
an
information?
article anyway,
I just
why not
want to
print
be
it out?
very, very cautious.
I believe we did that in Holden.
You guys,
I believe so.
okay,
I mean, with all these, with plans?
no,
Not plans, but as far as talking about town meeting.
If you guys have some language that works, I just know that if we make one misstep, it'll be jumped all over, right? So, but I don't see any problem in saying, we're not writing vote yes. We're gonna just say, right, this is gonna be on
Put it
on
in
that
information.
town meeting warrant. And then maybe if anything, it sparks conversation, you know? Maybe we come up with a graphic that we can print on a board or something. Will we have enough time to do that? Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Right?
I just bought some cheap easels too up at Amazon the other day, which makes it look
Nice.
Brian, can you be there?
Yes.
Or part of that? Oh,
Beautiful.
that'd be great.
Play lunch.
Okay, DPW superintendent update.
I don't really have a lot, kind of covered a lot of that stuff.
Yep.
I'll work on an article. I hadn't really considered it until I
I get some notes too. I'll send you some bullet points today.
Obviously, our working group meetings, they've been very heavy on these past couple presentations. That's really what we've been talking about the last 2 weeks. It's getting that PowerPoint together. Again, thank you to Vertex and Weston Sampson for working on that. I think it came out very well. Mark got great feedback. I was like relieved to see that when we first sent it off. And it's always kind of hard to tell what they want to see, what you don't want to see, how you want to see a package. So I was proud of it. I thought it came out. That's all I got.
OPM update.
Jumped Weston Sampson.
Oh, designer update.
I don't have much either. Survey, just an update there. We are planning to get the draft. They let us know we'd have that on Wednesday. And then I think since the last time we met, we have issued a permitting memo. So that should be in circulation. I don't know, Ryan, if you pass it around, but that's available.
Did I get that?
Did I not pass that out yet?
I don't think
I
I have.
have it. All right, I'll get that out tomorrow.
Okay.
And the permitting memo is available. And then the last thing that I just provided an update, as you can tell, we continue to work on the concepts and, we've done turning radii, radiuses, as you've seen for both a salt delivery truck, a semi trailer, trailer dump, as well as, the town's ladder truck. So
You wanna touch on those real quick, or do you want?
We-
to touch?
Della's on the call and ready to touch on them if you want to. Do you have something specific?
No, I just figured, just to cover it with, the group, you know, kind of what is seen and what. I don't think.
As long as they're looking at it.
If they had any questions, I mean, I know I had a couple questions, I don't know if this is the forum to do it, or if it's better in the working group, but.
One-
things I want.
Yeah, one question I just had, so the fuel stations are all one-sided here? Is that right?
Two-sided.
No, they're two-sided. If you're
Two-sided.
Oh, I see,
referring
never
to
mind.
the turning radii.
I'm just looking at the turning radius,
One
okay.
comment I had late this afternoon is that we either could have shown that going through the more difficult aisle or had another path going on either side, but that is, it is two-sided, John.
Okay,
Okay.
that's all we.
Okay.
Della, I see you're off mute now. On 1B, there's 2 fuel islands. Is that just to show 2 options of fuel island location, or one's in the
Yeah.
gate, one's outside the gate?
Yep, so 1B, I diagrammed 2 different locations. One's further up within the DPW yard across from the shops. But I wanted to show an example where there could be a fuel island technically within the gate still for security, but not so deep within the DPW yard. So smaller vehicles like Council on Aging could enter through the gate and just loop quickly outwards. The ladder truck would still have to go through the site, given it's a larger turning radius, but just wanted to show an option potentially for consideration where it's within the security of the gates, but it's not so deep within the yard space.
I kind of like that because it frees up a ton of asphalt space across from those shops.
Yeah.
You know, in theory. I honestly had missed the second gate when I was looking at it the first time, so.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of where that gate would go. If you had it in that sort of southwest corner, you would put the gate closer toward the entrance there. And if it was deeper in the DPW yard, you could put the gate closer up toward the building.
Yeah, so if I could, Della, just to be abundantly clear, she's not proposing 2 fuel lines.
Right.
Correct.
Or two-
Correct.
Oh, 2 gates,
Yeah.
okay.
One or the other, so
One or the other.
Yes.
That's how I heard. That's how I
I
heard.
like the fuel forward.
And does this access to the salt? It seems like it's on the right, it's on the driver's side now.
Yep, exactly.
It's going driver's side, which was a
So
concern, right?
I'll be perfectly candid, no. 1A and B were my preferred over the 3. The 3A and B. I did have a note on 1B that salt drivers aren't gonna like that. Backing in at an angle into the shed. Now, they're not the end all be all, and this is not our salt shed out there, right? The door, look at Holden's door, right? Maybe not that big, but it's a monstrosity.
Right.
So, is it really an issue? I don't know, you know what I mean? I was looking at that, how they're backing in.
I mean,
know,
you could,
versus this one where they can back straight in, but
Straight, yeah.
again, we're not designing the building around the salt truck.
Yeah.
So
and you could potentially, those bins there could move south from the site kind of,
yeah,
and you'd have more space
Yeah.
to back up there.
yeah,
Go straight.
it would be nice. I really liked 1A, but that little note in the right-hand side made me nervous, the retaining wall. Where the potential retaining wall, I would hate to add that extra cost and or point of failure. Or, you know what I mean, on that slope.
Yeah, there's a few instances of potential retaining walls. I will point out 1B actually would
Yeah.
have potential for retaining walls as well. Granted, you could use those material storage bins as a retaining wall
Yeah.
to some
Or
extent.
move them to where the fuel island is proposed and then, but still you need the.
Right.
you need
Something
I
like that.
understand that, yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to, once we get the survey figuring out what our finished elevation is and what type of retaining walls might be necessary.
The only reason that I shy away from 3, the main reason is I like the counterclockwise circulation around the site. The saw would need to go against traffic to dump into the shed in both these scenarios. And I didn't.
On the other hand, JD pointed out to me before the meeting that 3 has all of the operational opening
Yep.
are on the south.
Yep.
Which is, you know, actually nicer, especially in the winter. So, you know, that is a benefit. That's,
The 3A, I thought the parking lot was confusing. If you turn, if a resident makes that first turn thinking they're getting into the parking lot, they end up at a gate. They have to back up, continue to go. I know that can be reworked, but,
yeah, it's,
you know, I kind of gravitated towards the ones. But that's just. I love the turning movements. Thank you for that. I think that was really helpful.
Yeah, they help to
Off the
visualize.
fire, so. Kind of gives you a sense of how much room you actually have.
Right.
And Tony, you had mentioned to me that we're gonna be looking with the geotech plan, we want to be at least pretty close to what do you think timeline wise? When do you think we need to kind of, if I nail down, I mean, get a pretty good idea of where this thing's gonna go?
Sooner
So we can
than,
get some borings
sooner than you think. The
Yeah.
borings are
scheduled for,
the 7th and 8th, I
Yeah.
think, and we would like to be a week out in front, marking out the borings and dig saping.
But I will say, these are preliminary sets of borings and it's probably a fair amount of overlap, you know, or
I was talking to Tony about that.
I think we can find locations that will accommodate.
That would be great.
But the other thing I think, Tony, you might be bringing up is, you know, we do want to get started on schematic plan soon. And to do that, we really want to make sure we're settled.
Right.
So for that reason, it's also.
Will the survey and contours dictate any changes?
Probably not much. I mean,
It's mostly movable material anyways, it's all about.
yeah, and I think what that'll dictate will be, as we get into more detailed site plan, to see, will we really need retaining walls? Where can we avoid retaining walls?
Okay.
Kind of arrange the site to do that.
Yep.
I don't think it's gonna make big changes further.
On the way the building's laid out on 1A, where would your roof line be? Or could you make the roof line for the vehicle drive-through storage big enough to cover the adjacent fleet maintenance and the workshops?
No, not really. I typically, with a big garage like this, it's gonna be a monoslope, a single, large shed roof. It's also great for solar. That's
But that'll shed water on 1A and 1B. That would shed water to the southwest or to the, I'm sorry, the east. That roof. The vehicle maintenance space, the mechanic space is a higher roof.
that'll actually.
So that would be taller and that would shed water the other way. So, I guess I should defer to the architect, but my plan is that you can't cover it all with one room.
Okay.
that's,
I was just thinking of cost, whether that would be cheaper to do it that way.
Not necessarily, because the way the metal buildings work is they really make it as efficient as possible. So most of these are designed as single boxes, so each of these large volumes, basically a single structure.
It could arguably be more expensive because now more of the building would have to be higher.
For the
And it would
maintenance.
need structure to support that higher roof that otherwise we don't need.
Okay. So you see that the fleet storage is one slope
Yes.
Extending out over the canopy.
over
on
the
top.
outside storage.
Yes, right.
So that-
Starts off high enough.
And
And
then
on that
windows
right side-
along the top,
That
then windows along the top to the
potentially,
south.
on that high side, we can fit a mezzanine.
Right. Right. So the mezzanine is actually on the side of all of the operations, right?
That side,
Yeah.
I'm happy to show an example of a similar project if I can get the screen share. It kind of helps understand the massing of these spaces.
It's yours.
Go ahead, Della.
All right, can you see the program? It's looking like a little diagram here.
Yep, there it is.
So from the exterior, this is a progress set. So there's some other items in the way, but this is kind of looking, in your case, it would be an open canopy, but this is the single roof plane over the storage garage pitching monoslope. And then in this case, here you can see it from this angle. The fleet maintenance roof line needs to be higher to accommodate all the bridge crane and all the different building systems to avoid conflicts. Here is an example of that's your wash bay door here with more visibility. Translucent panels above the garage doors. And then looking into the interior, you can see this is an example of the maintenance garage, maintenance bays with a mezzanine in this area here. So it's open to the bays below. And you probably saw this with Holden, but that gives a sense for kind of the volumes and how the massing works out.
So are you putting in one of those big lifts like they had in Holden or not?
It's up to the town, but the space is, has the volume to accommodate it.
That one long drive-through?
Seems like that would be something you would want.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a
That
building
style,
section that might show
Right?
it.
Do we want that style? Do we want the mobile ones or whatnot? It's kind
Oh,
of a
I'm
matter.
sorry, I thought he was talking about
Oh, the
No,
crane? Oh, no, we're talking about the
Yeah,
lift.
the
Are you
lift,
talking about
vehicle lift.
Oh, you're talking about the lift. I was thinking the gantry.
Oh, I was thinking the vehicle.
Okay, yeah.
This is where a bridge crane tends to
Bridge
be
crane,
positioned. And then a lift beneath. You can see some of the four-post lifts and mobile lifts. This is an example of a drive-through fleet maintenance bay with the mezzanine beyond and the bridge crane to access the mezzanine and the maintenance bay. I hope that was a little helpful for seeing the
Yeah, it
volume.
was.
That's good, thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Yep.
Whose building is that?
This is Truro out on the Cape.
It's nice.
Yeah,
We have more wind and less snow.
that's right. Tougher on the trucks with the salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's salt and wind.
Yeah. And they're on the top of a hill, so certainly. I wanted
Yeah.
to also note, oh, sorry.
You're all set, Della, you go.
In terms of the concepts, they're not set in stone. So even if you decide on a preferred layout, there's still wiggle room to move things around or essentially swapping out. We could work out a parking lot that looks like you can kind of take what I think Tony mentioned this last time. You can take an element that you like of 1A and try to work it into 1B if we like the parking lot to be arranged differently or like Ryan said, rearranging where the material storage bins go. So there's still plenty opportunity to massage it out even once one of the options is identified as the preferred layout.
I mean, one thing we should probably talk to Sterling Municipal Light about just what, I mean, the road on the right or the left. I don't think it matters.
Every time I get a concept, I've sent it to them, they get like so excited.
Yeah.
Be our spot.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten feedback from them yet, but I can,
I don't
That
think
might
it
be
would matter
right.
for them, but
I think.
this seems like a straighter shot, B.
Yeah, it just seems to make sense for further site development as well. That's why I was wondering if the borders will go up high on the hill, so we know how much sand we actually.
Well, that's a whole separate,
Well, that's
this isn't
disturbing.
even go on the hill.
Correct.
No, I
That's a whole
know.
separate.
I know.
That is.
That
But while
does make
they're
a
out
good
there-
point. So like B has a straight shot so that you could continue past yeah, this over here, you'd be going down. It looks like a much more of a slope over here.
Going up.
Yeah, you'd be going up, but
Yeah.
on the west side, I guess.
I don't know, I gravitate towards the road on the south side of the, and that's just me, but I can't defend it.
Della, could 1B push over east more? Or is it because of that like retaining wall where the bins are, it would just be, we're getting a little bit sketchy there?
This DPW portion going eastward.
Because I know on 1A, the road is like right up against the property line, which I like. It pushes everything as far, sorry, I meant west. Sorry, I meant
Oh,
west.
west.
One trouble is the fuel island.
You have to shift it, keep it in the.
Yeah, with the setback.
Yeah.
This is a setback. I mean, if we are liking the fuel island in this corner, further south,
Yeah,
it
it could shift a bit to the west, but we
Or
cannot put
open
a
up a
permanent
little bit to
structure.
the west, even if it
got rid
opened
of
up a little
that.
bit.
then
Right.
No, also.
Yeah, this is the setback we need to stay within this red dash line.
For structures, not for.
Right, paving can go within the setback.
No, just structures, okay.
Correct.
That's why I kind of like this, the view. And, as long as it works. Just one truck has to drive up.
I believe material bins can go within the setback as they're not seen as a permanent structure. So that's another piece.
Brian, we have feedback from the light department as far as how much outdoor use or.
No, but I will get back with them. Is this showing 10,000 square feet? Or is
Yep.
this showing 10,000 square feet plus a building? Plus a fence?
The yellow is just a placeholder for a 10,000 square foot building,
Okay,
and then
okay.
this red
That is
dash
the building.
line. Yep. And then I kind of outlined here, it's a bit
It's
over
about
an
an acre.
acre of available area without going into the hill,
Mhm.
this red dash line.
Oh, I see. Okay. We'll save that part for us.
Mhm.
Expand in the back, gonna have to dump our oil somewhere.
Mhm.
Okay.
I like that too, is that they're going to be removing sand while this is going on. They're probably sure.
It's a straight shot.
Yeah.
Easy to get in and out.
Yeah, very easy to, if you want in the future, do that.
Well, the sand is an asset,
Straight shot. Yep.
you think. From
Yes.
Taking a look at this from the winter point of view, are those 30-foot wide driveways all the way around going to be adequate with snow?
For like plows to pass, very much so. 30 feet is, I'm trying to, Clinton Road's like 40-ish. So you're way wider than any neighborhood street would be. Route 12 might be close to a 30-foot road.
I was just looking at, in the wintertime, you've got a hill abutting that driveway.
I
You
see.
can't plow
Somewhere to push
on
Yeah.
that hill.
Luckily, we have the equipment here and it's here. This is, we'll do a lot of snow removal.
And it's gonna be all one way too. One way
They-
travel, so
they
you.
have
It's a
to
good
expect
thought,
snow.
Nick, 'cause it
Yeah.
does go up there, right?
But it's a good point. It's a good point, because you can't dump it.
Definitely gonna be different. There's a lot more snow removal that will be required.
We also have a lot more.
Okay, any other questions on the site plans or? Okay, I think we can go next into the OPM update.
Not too much either. I just want to, as our focus has been on the presentation last week, one this week, but in that vein, is there community outreach? And once we get over select board, we turn our attention to the general public as a whole to get some more information, sessions out there, maybe aren't watching the select board online, trying to reach as many people as we can to educate on this. So just to put that on our radar, that possibly once we get over this throughout this week, I think the meeting is on the 8th for warrant voting.
That's just setting the warrant, yeah. The
At that point,
16th
there's
is
a
the
few
recommendation, the finance committee will recommend it or not. The 8th would just be the closing date, pretty much just a formality.
Is the selectmen right around the same time they recommend it?
When will you guys do that?
It won't be the 8th.
No, it would be after the warrant's set.
Yes.
So whatever your next
Next
meeting is,
meeting,
2 weeks later.
So Mark had mentioned social media. Is there an avenue to put something out on that?
I don't control any social media here. Nothing is preventing individuals from putting out social media, like on a community page or something like that. I know Bill does put out some stuff once in a while on Facebook. Like that was something that we did do in Holden, is this project spearheaded a Holden DPW Facebook page and a lot of communication from it. Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, Bill said there's one bad town page with 117 loyal followers. That's what he said about social media. So there's a bit of a, I don't want to say it's a shift, but in a small town like ours, there's been some concern about what's the right way to do it and what's not. Are the way that because technically every single comment, every single thing becomes public record. So how is it properly managed? And that's kind of always been like the pushback on social media that I've seen anyways. I know like fire has it, police has it. I've never gone to the lengths to set one up for DPW. I'd like to, but I feel like at the end I would do it for a little while and I'd head about it, or I'd come up, the things would come up, you know?
Yeah, you have to have someone monitoring it,
Right.
adding stuff constantly.
But if there's something we can put out some way, I'm open to it. I just don't know the right way.
And if there are other websites out there, like police and fire, I should say website, but
Yeah,
maybe we can get them to put stuff on.
it would just be, it would have to be very informational,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm not even sure that they would be on board for that or not. I don't know.
Brian and Steve, you guys use like Facebook? I know like projects usually sometimes will have, at least when they get going, they'll have a website, but
Not all.
anything, okay, okay.
I think having a dedicated site, whether it's through the town's portal where like FAQs can be stored, as well as site plans, agendas, schedules. But yeah, we've seen the Facebook route as well, where maybe the narrative and misinformation can get out there.
Yeah, I'm thinking there might be more negative than positive to it.
Yep, that's one of the other reasons to stay clear of that stuff.
Yeah.
Turns into,
So your video is still on it's on
yeah.
the town's page.
yeah, we have a
Probably have to
page
do some
for this.
FAQs.
The program's up there, the video, I actually just updated, because I updated all of our active
Okay.
projects. I don't know if I put those concepts up there. But
And that's on our website,
on the DPW page,
so people could go look at that.
Yep. The video is right there,
Yeah.
et cetera. Once you go to DPW page, it's right there.
Yeah.
But it's, again, purely informational.
Anything else, Brian or Steve? No? Okay. Anything else before we set meeting agenda for next, oh, actually, I have new business, so signing of invoices, it's gonna be some invoices starting to come in. We can, the committee can sign it, or we can just have one per, I could just be the signing authority, I don't know what you guys
I think
prefer,
the
or what.
chair, you know, we need to vote on that. I think the chair should be the signing authority.
Everyone fine with that?
More efficient.
Okay. That's fine. So I can do that.
Chair or acting chair or vice chair or
Yep.
whatever.
It's you and I, Jack.
All right.
There you go.
With the pen.
Okay, then next, future meetings, obviously we got the meeting on Wednesday. Yep, then after that, the 6th would be the next. Should work for me if that's still, if we want to keep the 2-week cadence. Yeah. Okay.
It's not meeting anyway.
Want to do that
And 6th, it's 6 o'clock.
6, so.
Yep. And then just to put it out there, we have an event already on the 20th. So won't be able to meet the 20th. Which is 2 weeks out from the 6th. I can do the 22nd or 23rd, but just put it out there.
I could do the 22nd.
We don't have to set it now. We don't want to.
The 22nd, I believe, will be a select board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Why
would
don't we
probably be
wait?
the record.
Why don't we wait till next?
That's fine.
meeting?
Yep, I just wanted to throw it out there.
Okay.
I did post for Wednesday, just like I posted for last Thursday, just to be safe.
Correct. Anything else? Oh,
I just get maybe a point of clarification. So I'm looking at this and it had the light department. I know that you guys had mentioned in your presentation. I'm just putting this out there in case somebody asks you, if you have the information, then at least, I mean, it was overlooked, right? So we know that the light department can kick in something towards the site, right? And I'm looking at a 10,000 square foot building. Is that building part of the overall project?
no,
It could be all.
So that's a lot. So that's got everything to do with the light department.
yes.
So doesn't it not make any sense to anybody for the light department to be there? And again, I only ask that because you're advertising for them to just go to the answer questions if I'm understanding.
So the theory is that they will share the cost. So chewing into the 27 in some of the soft costs, they will share the cost to develop the road including water, electric, paving, to get from George Pizzo behind the police station down around the landfill and to a point however we decide. So, there's over $1 million, I'd say, in that kind of stuff that they will share.
A trade-off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that way they don't have to buy a
Yeah.
piece of property.
And maybe more because of that to offset the cost of the property, Yep.
But, and again, I'm sure it's illegal, right? It makes more sense to me for the town to buy a $450,000 excavator, have the water department put their own water, and at the end of it, we save money and the excavator paid for it. So it's probably illegal. Because it makes sense. I'm just saying, that's all I got.
Thanks, Kevin.
No, but yeah, we'd have to work out that. We'd assume we'd leave them at a kind of a pad ready site, and then they'd go and build their structure later. They wouldn't want to be taxed on to what the road would be.
There,
Yeah. Figure that out later.
Right,
Um,
it's not, we wouldn't make the decision.
if there's no other comments? Motion to join?
Motion adjourned.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.